Yeah, I mean, first of all, can I just say it's a privilege to be here. I never take these opportunities for granted. I've known Mary for a number of years. Like when I even met Mary, Mary wasn't even a business coach. Mary and I were event planners, but we're doing other things. And I always remind her of how the last event that we worked on together, which was the first event we worked on together, was in Greece. So that's to show you how we backdate our history. It's so funny. But here we are. And I think it's just the power of relationships. And even meeting Shireen at the Bob Expo, I remember telling Mary that, you know what, Shireen's just hip. And that's just the word I can use. Like, you're just very cheerful, very happy. And it's just that spirit of networking, that spirit of, I actually feel like I'm home here. And just even meeting Mary as well, and your son, like, yeah, thanks for being here as well. And can I just say, like, I see a lot of great things for the Association of Black Coaches, ABC. I mean, if it's simple to remember, how simple does it get? ABC, isn't it? That's the simplest. And I think that in itself carries a message that we can take that burden off you and just make it simpler for you. Like, there's just so much around it. I know sometimes when I sound like this, I know sounding like I'm Mary's pastor, but I'm not trying to be that. But anyway, yeah, I'm just a very big fan of the ABC because coaching is not regulated as such. And we know that a lot of people, I mean, we are here as credible coaches who go out there to deliver what we do. Sometimes we even give out free services. Do you know how many people get scammed on a daily basis because they are paying people who are not even qualified to even teach them what they are teaching, and they're direct people in the right? So just knowing that ABC has been launched just shows that the only way to stop darkness is to have a shining light. So the more we can do what we do, the better we can attract the people who can make the coaching community a credible community. So, like, super thumbs up to you, Shireen and Mary, for organizing this. So let's move that out of the way and let's get into the topic. I'm going to be speaking on, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Oh, host disabled participant screen sharing. Mary, do I have to
enable you right now?
No problem. Let me know when I can.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, share screen. So let me know when you can see my slides. There are not many slides anyway, but I think it's
we can see
it's
them.
A very good way to. Okay, lovely. Is it showing up clearly?
Yep, yeah, brilliant.
Cool. Right. I'm going to be speaking on understanding your customer journey. You may have heard it, you may not have heard it. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you've not applied it, but I'm going to tell you why it's important and why it's so relevant in your business and how it can help you boost your sales. And the key word in there really is customer, because there is no business that says I am successful, okay, that did not get sales. And there is no business that had sales that did not get it from customers. Ultimately, you are in the business of getting customers and keeping them, really, okay? And the more you understand the psychology of the customer, how a customer behaves, the better you can get closer to them and turn those opportunities into recurring sales. It is not enough for someone to show up and say, I'm going to buy. It's not enough for someone to show up at your doorstep and go, that it's a nice suit in your window, and go buy. That's the window shopper. We don't want them. We want people to actually come and bring out the money and buy. And not just people that buy because they've been forced to buy. We want people who desire your services to come. So we want the desire. We want people to come. We want them to have the ability to pay. So we don't want people who have the desire and go, I like it, but I can't afford it. We want people who desire, which is the first one. We want them to have the money, and we want them to actually pay for it. So I think it's very important that you understand that is an ideal customer right there. If someone shows up and they don't have the money, something's missing. If someone shows up and they don't have the desire, something's missing. If someone shows up but they are unwilling to pay for it, something's missing. So, and that's why a lot of focus on customer when I talk about most things, and regardless of what topic it is, I'm always going to come from customer perspective. I think just to kind of introduce myself a bit, I have worked for a number of companies across the last 11 years, and I've got my own business as well. And my focus has always been in CRM. So I've got a lot of CRM experience, customer relationship management. Initially got introduced to me as a tool, as technology, but I realized that it's not actually technology. It's actually a culture in itself. because if you don't have the customer-centric culture, what's the tool going to do? It's just going to expose how you think or how you behave in the business. If you are not customer-centric, if you don't have good customer service practices, what's the tool going to do? The tool is not a magic box, essentially. So I have learned how to understand customers, and I have appreciated that the right focus on the customer to help you to build a strategy that helps you to get closer to your customers, but not just to attract them, but to keep them. Because the beauty of marketing is not just about attracting customers. Marketing should get you to a place where you can retain your customers, and that's when you can talk about customer loyalty. So, and I started getting called Mr. Customer experience. Initially, I'm like, and that's because I always use those terms a lot, but I got used to it, and I like being called Mr. Customer Experience. And basically, it's because my focus is on how does the customer feel at the end of the day? How is the customer thinking? Because at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't feel great how do you feel if a customer has paid £1,000 or £500 for your services and they tell you, I'm not happy? You're not going to be happy, are you? Even if they had it for free and the customer tells you I'm not satisfied, it's a problem. So how do you get to a point where you are consistently making your customers feel satisfied, if possible, extremely satisfied? Then you have hit a gold mine. And of course, I'm the founder of Michael. I built a solution that helps business owners to deliver that great customer experience and to manage their business so that business can be less stressful for them, particularly if they're a solopreneur or they've got a small team and they don't have the resources to hire a number of people. The point is, a tool can actually help you to get more results. A few things at the bottom there, just kind of like places where Michael has featured and where I featured as well. And I wouldn't go through them in detail, but yeah, just a few things just to kind of like show where I've been privileged to kind of like pass through. Right, in terms of agenda, we're going to do 4 things. There's an icebreaker coming up, and we're all going to be a part of it. So if your camera is off, then you are definitely not my favorite, like Shireen. And if your mic is off, you are also not like my favorite, like Shireen. Shireen is like my top attendee at the moment. I see Mary's mic is off because we're all going to be a part of this. So we're going to have an icebreaker, just a couple of minutes. I'm going to present you some facts. We're going to talk about customer journey and go into a bit of detail. And if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll be as honest as possible. I'll share from what I know. Even if I haven't got the answer, we'll talk about it and I'll bring you the answers as long as it's customer centric. Cool. Question for us all. Shireen first, then Mary, then Mary Fash, then Mary.
Okay.
What? Yeah. Okay. So I'll say Mary Fash when I'm referring to Mary in the middle. On my screen, I can see you in the middle. Then I refer to Mary. Shireen, what's your favorite TV series and why did you keep watching it? Tell us.
Favorite of all time or favorite that
doesn't matter. Anyone. Just
okay. So at the moment, I'm watching Celebrity SAS with my son. He's 16. Okay. He wants to go into the RAF, so we watch a lot of military stuff. But the reason I kept watching it is because they've really, really tested these people to the point where I would have long stopped. And watching people keep going when they've done some really kind of crazy things to them and where I think they would have broken and they haven't broken, has really made me realize that we can do a lot more than we think. And if we think we can do it, then we can. And I think that's something that I'm trying to get across to my son, Ruben. So that's why we've got the last episode is on tonight. I'm looking forward to watching the final.
Okay. Are you enjoying it?
I am. Well, I'm enjoying it for 2 reasons. It's something that we can watch together. And as he gets older, it's harder and harder to find things that we can bond over. So it gives us some time together. And it's kind of made me realize that as humans, we're quite remarkable people. Mindset has got a lot to do with a lot of things. And I know that, but I'm learning that more.
Okay. Okay, cool. Mary Fash. Let's come over to you. And you dare not talk about anything I've recommended to you, because I do recommend series to Mary Fash sometimes to talk about something that we've not talked about. So tell me, what's your favorite TV series? I'm just joking. Anyone. Favorite TV series, and tell me why you kept watching it.
So I think my favorite series would be Dynasty. I don't know if anybody has seen it.
The new version.
Old one. Yes. I kept watching because I see myself as a business owner that would love to own like a conglomerate. Like I see myself
Yeah.
so massive one day. And how does that kind of happen within the family? How do you keep that within the family? You know, how do you leave a legacy, a dynasty within your family? And I feel like, you know, you can see the dirty, like the business can be dirty, like how it was dirty and how you pay attention to, like, it just teaches you the importance of family and not paying too much attention, like not forgetting family while you're trying to build a
Yeah.
legacy.
Yeah.
Because you say you are building it for the family, but you're neglecting this family, they'll come back to resent you. And, you know, it's just, I like typical, and I kept watching because it was just interesting to see how that world looks like, because I want to get to that level. Yeah, Mary Fash is like a global name and it's massive. So how do I leave a legacy, leave a dynasty, and still make sure my family is intact without secrets, without things popping out, like, you know, things in the wardrobe. What do you call that thing? The
Skeletons
closet.
in your wardrobe.
Yeah. Like disturbing like my brand name, you know, making families intact, business is intact, my spiritual life is intact, kind of stuff. So that is why I would say it's my favorite, why I kept watching basically.
Cool. And let's come back to you, Mary. Any TV series that you love, and why did you keep watching it?
Not sure if it's a series, but I think probably one of the soaps. I used to watch Hollyoaks for a long time. Of course, when I started, it was really, I wasn't watching anything then, but it kept coming up. So every channel I go to, I think it was on a few channels, it was there. And then I thought, okay, let me just have a look and see what this is all about. And started following it. But then after COVID, I think because they had some issues with it where they would have a live one for a day maybe, and then afterwards it never used to come up again. They would be repeating old ones, so I just lost interest, so not watching it anymore. But yeah, I think there was just a lot of twists and turns within it, and a lot of current affairs issues which they would bring up and discuss as well. So yeah, that was a good one which I kept watching at some point.
Right, cool. I mean, it's so interesting how such a very simple actually I'll tell you, let me answer the question.
Yeah, what was your one?
So
yeah.
mine, oh god, I have many, but at the moment it's clickbait. There's this series called Clickbait. Oh my god, I had to post.
New on Netflix.
So it's on Netflix. It's very simple. At the beginning, this guy dies. I'm trying not to give it out. And
don't give it away.
Over the 7, yeah, I won't give it away. But over the 7 episodes, no, it happens in the first few minutes anyway. Yeah. The guy dies. That's what it's about. And over the 7 episodes, they start to reveal things until they finally reveal how he died. And I just needed to continue watching this thing. I'm like, that's him. No, he's not the one that killed him. And every episode, I'm like, that's the person that killed him. But it just held my interest. And until I got to the end, and to be honest, I was watching it at very late hours sometimes, just because of how glued I was. So just going back to the question, I think it's so interesting how even a very simple question can expose a number of things. I just wanted your experience, really. And just taking Shireen's feedback, it was clear that we're delighted to talk about it. My God, I could pretty much tell that you do enjoy it. It's like how you were talking about it, it showed delight. And the other thing I also got as well is you're enjoying it so much that you are even ready to share the experience, even with a family member, with your son. And you said it, you know. So that's the energy that you're giving off. And Mary was very clear that she's learning something there. You know, there's value, you know, and she was also passionate about it as well. And one very interesting thing that Mary said was that, like, she could see the future, you know, like a future picture transformation, that sort of things for Mary Fash. And Mary as well. The interesting thing about Mary was that initially, like, she didn't even care, but this thing kept popping up until it triggered her attention, and she watched it. And what we've just described here just shows that we are also customers as well, and how you felt is how a customer can actually feel about what you sell, can feel about your brand. Now imagine, Shireen, that all your customers that you coach are always delighted to talk about you. Oh my God, Shireen, if she coaches you, you don't want to leave. But they say the experience is so great, I always have to tell someone.
Yeah.
And they are always smiling and they are always passionate about it. Like, how would you feel? Or Mary, imagine if your customers always told you that, you know what, I always learn something every time I get an email or every time I talk to Mary Fash. She always shows me the future of my business. Or imagine, Mary, I'm not sure what you do, but imagine if your clients are always saying that, you know what, every time I just get something that just triggers my interest. Like you just show up at the right time. See how happy you guys feel. Just actually describing how your customers can feel. And that's where we want to go. That's where we want to be. We want to be businesses that customers rave about, you know. The iPhone, the biggest of brands out there, Nike, they do advertise, but most of their adverts are never come and buy. No, most of their images and videos are showing an experience. Nike will show someone running. iPhone will show someone who's enjoying listening to music or something. It's always about how someone feels. And again, it just comes down to the fact that the customer is the focus of everything. I'm going to share a few facts. Customers with a customer journey program, and I'm going to describe what a customer journey is, but customers with so there's a difference between customer experience and customer journey. Just kind of like explain that. Customer experience really is, how does my customer feel? Okay. And customer journey is about what's my customer doing. Okay. It's more about their actions. But when you have a customer journey program, because you can't get customers can't experience what hasn't been designed for them to experience. So you need the journey for them to go through and experience something. You cannot experience a holiday if you did not go on the holiday, if you did not travel on that journey. So there are two things that work as part of each other. But for companies who decide to have a customer journey program, okay, so that's actually supposed to be businesses, not customers. But my brain is always thinking the word customers. I ended up typing the word customer about change that. So that should read, businesses with a customer journey program experience the following. Just read that. First of all, 18 times faster average sales cycle, as in speed. How frustrating can it be if you start talking to a customer in January and by December, you are still talking to them? Like, please, nobody wants that sort of customer, you know. Nobody even wants a customer that talks for 6 months. Unless it's a deal breaking, you are signing big, large contract. Now we understand, you know. But sales can be faster, okay, if you are intentional about the journey. 56% more cross-selling and upselling revenue. Mary has a number of things, from content strategy to I can coach your business to even JOP, jar of positivity.
Yes.
When you design the journey properly, why are you laughing? It's one of your products, isn't it? I've got one in my house. When you design the journey properly, not only can you upsell, you can cross-sell. So there are two different things. So most of the time, cross-selling is around, okay, let me explain upselling. You sell an economy ticket to someone and they're traveling, but you start to tell them about how you see that first class, more food, you can sit back, the seat is better, etc. and all that. And the customer eventually decides to pay for something that is of higher value. So they end up spending more money. That's upselling. Cross-selling is you're selling clothes, maybe you sell dresses, and you now go, you know what, that blue dress that you bought, I've actually got a pair of shoes that will go with it. Okay, you're selling complementary items, and sometimes those complementary items could actually even be products from other businesses as well. But the point is that you can bundle things together. And the point is, if you're intentional about your journey, you can be in a position where you're selling multiple services. Even as a coach, a customer who you have sold your coaching program to, if you have a customer journey that exposes those opportunities, you might be able to even sell them more services that you didn't even realize that there was demand for. I've been in situations where a customer has come to tell us, oh, this Michael, I love it, but I don't have time. Can you just handle it for me for the next 3 months and I'll pay you? Oh, and it's because the conversation got there. Of course, we took their money. But the point is, if you don't have the journey mapped out, you will miss opportunities to sell more. Okay. So you can boost cross-selling and upselling opportunities when you have your design mapped out. I'll give you another example, just kind of like buttress that. We had to travel to Nigeria for my sister's wedding. Myself, my wife, and our 2 kids. And this hotel was very intentional about what they did. So they had told us, yeah, you get free, you get 2 plates of breakfast, something around the breakfast thing, and they brought this breakfast. Oh my God, this breakfast was so nice. But they knew that the quantity was small, and they knew we were going to enjoy it, and they just showed up and said, "Do you want to order more?" What did you do? Of course, we ordered more. Do you understand? But if they had given us the option from when we bought when we paid for the hotel to say buy 4 plates, we would have thought no. But they realized that time is, you have to be very intentional about timing. So when they plotted out their journey, they know that this is the time to offer them this, because this is when they'll say yes. And that's just to show you how they continue to sell more. And because they had asked us what we're coming for, they knew that we're coming for a wedding. They started to offer us, oh, do you want us to do your ironing for you? And we're saying yes to all these things, because they're very intentional about when they were going to ask questions, when they were going, even how you collect data as well. I mean, I was consulting for a business yesterday. I'm like, you see that form? It's too long. If someone's showing up for the first time, they don't want to be answering 20 million questions. Do you even need this information? So it's just about being very intentional. I'll try and go faster. 10 times improvements in customer services costs. You see this one, a lot of people don't actually realize that cost is not just about money. Cost is also effort. You see, every minute you're spending talking to that customer. Do you know how many customers sometimes will be like, can I just call you for 5 minutes, and it becomes 30 minutes, or it becomes an hour? Effort is money. If you were paying yourself for every minute that you actually spent on that business, is it possible that you are not actually making as much profit, because you are not actually realizing that that's cost in itself? But you can actually improve that cost. And improving cost means that when you're intentional about the journey, even those times can actually translate into financial opportunities for you, or you can even save yourself from putting in that stress. But I'll go into that in more details. 5 times greater revenue from customer referrals. This one I'm very big on, is because even I have experienced this. When the journey gives you that kind of experience, you will go and tell other people. American Express did a whole research, and they found that when someone is naturally excited about your services, they will tell 9 people on average. 9. Imagine if 10 people are happy with your services and they all tell 9 people each. You just multiplied. Voice of the customer. Like, it's referral marketing is so important. A lot of our micro customers, in fact, I think it's the same for Mary as well. They come from word of mouth. Oh, this person has done this. We experienced this. The customer I got yesterday, I actually have a dual husband and wife customer. And honestly, it's so strange sometimes to me as to how word of mouth, but honestly, it does work. Okay. And the other one there is greater return on marketing investment. I mean, it's kind of like tied to the first one. If people are now going about talking about you and doing the marketing for you, then you are getting more returns, because your customer acquisition cost is actually less, because you are paying less for marketing, essentially. One thing I forgot to mention about American Express as well is that there's someone trying to come in, JJ Clark Gordon. Should I admit the person?
I've admitted them, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 54% greater return of marketing in investment. So I think I've covered that. What I was going to say as well. So I mentioned earlier that American Express conducted some research, and when a customer is happy, excited, naturally tell about 9 people. Another company carried out some research and did the opposite. How many people will you tell if you're not satisfied? Average 16 people. So more people. So people are likely to share their negative experiences as opposed to positive experiences. And that's why it's so important that you put a lot of focus on the customer, because it's in your own benefit to be able to expand and grow your business, because even word of mouth will help you boost your business. So I've got a question there. You don't need to answer it, but just think about it. Which of these benefits do you desire in your coaching business? Do you want faster sales cycles? Do you want to be able to upsell and cross-sell, which will bring you more revenue? Do you want improvements in your customer service costs, where you're actually spending less but getting more output out of it? Do you want more customer referrals? And do you want greater return on your investments? And I'm sure the answer is yes anyway, but always think about these things as to why you should even think about a customer journey in the first place. So what exactly is a customer journey? It's actually very simple. A journey is a journey, whether you're traveling from Birmingham to London, like myself, or you're traveling from, or anyone going on a holiday, maybe you're going to the Caribbean islands, or I know I'm putting this visual image in your head right now, but a journey is a journey. A customer journey, in this case, is that complete life cycle from awareness to loyalty, allowing you to match customer. Actually, don't let me rush it. Complete life cycle from awareness to loyalty. That means that where the customer is, where the customer was, or where the customer starts from is a point of they probably don't even know anything about you. Imagine them as a stranger, then they become aware. Then at some point, they probably will buy from you. And at some point, hopefully they become promoters of your business. And we talk about loyalty, but it's a journey, it's a progression. Nobody wakes up and decides that, oh my God, I am a big fan of Netflix if they haven't experienced Netflix, if they didn't know about Netflix, if you understand what I mean. Or nobody's going to rave about Mary Fash and our coaching business if they haven't experienced it, if they didn't pay for our service, or even if they didn't find out. So it's a progression. You can only move from and that whole life cycle is what the customer journey is about, recognizing that journey from one end to the other. But it's not just about knowing what the journey is. It's also there to allow you to match your communication strategies with customer expectations. And communication there doesn't necessarily mean email or SMS. Everything is really communicating something. Even when you're not talking, you are communicating because your silence is saying something.
Yeah.
If you go quiet on a customer, you are telling your customer something. That is the truth about it. Even your website that looks static or your signature is saying something to the customer. Your FAQs are saying something to the customer. So customer communication strategies are across board, really. And we've also written there with customer expectations at each stage of the journey. It is not about what you want. It is about what the customer needs. If you do not start from the needs of the customer, you'll miss it completely. You either be trying to sell the wrong thing to the customer or the right thing to the wrong customer. Either way, if you cannot match the need with your services, that mismatch does not help you to convert sales and build a sustainable business. So another question you don't need to answer, but do you have a customer journey mapped out? If you don't, it's fine. If you do, it's great. But regardless of whether you have or not, it's an evolving thing. Why? Because consumer habits change. The customer you had pre-COVID could have started acting differently during COVID. My customer started acting differently during COVID. Every event planner who was using Michael, the first thing that they told us was, there's nobody handling events. Why am I paying for this, Michael? And they started to say all these things. And we needed to quickly understand, what are they thinking? What can we do? For some, we had to freeze payments. For some, we had to give them ideas on what they could do. For some people, they left. But the point is, you have to recognize the ever-changing customer needs so that you can take advantage of it and use that as an opportunity to build and to grow your business. So let's talk about the customer journey map. Now that we understand the importance of the customer journey, let's see what a customer journey can look like. Now, bear in mind that it is not a customer journey or the customer journey. It is your customer journey. You need to think about your own customer and how they will journey from where they are, to where they would need to be, from a point where they know nothing about your services up to the point where they know, they possibly buy, and they become promoters if that opportunity is there. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. And hopefully I'll kind of give scenarios as to how that can help you boost your sales. So one of the things I shared, now I'm just going to put the whole journey on the screen anyway. Most small businesses focus on sale. And it makes sense. I want to make money. I want to make it quickly. I want the money in. Everybody wants the cash to roll in. Everybody wants the dollars. And it makes sense. But the truth is, it's everything that happens before they buy that determines if they will buy in the first place anyway. So why don't you just align your focus correctly, using the post I shared on Instagram, which is Clickbait, which is the series I watch. Oh my God. It takes a long time for you to convince me to watch something. That's the truth. Like Game of Thrones, even with the hype, but it took someone who I would listen to get me. I'm like that. You need to be able to convince you to watch something, But when I started to watch Clickbait, the first 10 minutes, oh my God, my attention was arrested. And I just knew that, okay, I need to watch this thing. And I got to the end of it. The first stage is awareness. I mean, if you're not even getting the attention of the customer, like there's no hope to sell to them. And I think it's very important to understand that your customer will go through an awareness phase. Okay. And awareness means that they need to learn about you. They need to know about you. In fact, sometimes it's when they know about you, they even realize that they even have a problem. Because, sometimes you don't even realize that you have a problem. I mean, think of, like I never used to value things like life insurance and a will and things like that until when I lost my dad. And all of a sudden, all those ads and things I used to see and things I used to now started to make a lot of sense, So, but you need to think of how you need to look at it from the customer's perspective, where the customer's shoes, where the customer's lens, and awareness. What information do they need right now? For people who imagine you're meeting someone for the first time, and the first thing you're saying is, my coaching program is £99. It's almost like, I don't understand. Like, why would they pay? You don't even know what they need. They don't even know anything about you. And you just sound like the other person who, I mean, how many of us love it when someone knocks on their door and they go, do you want to buy? Like, it's like nobody buys like that. There's a psychological journey that goes through, and that's because the customer has to make a decision, particularly for services. Products, it happens faster because you see, you get, But for services, I mean, how do you, a coaching program it's not like a book, it's not like a shirt, it's not an apparel, it's not a pair of shoes. It is a service in itself. So, and I'm not saying that it makes it more difficult to sell a service than a product, but the point is, if the customer is not aware, you cannot even lead them further into a point where they can even think of buying. So how do you make your customers aware of what you do? How do you make your customers aware of what you stand for? How do you make your customers aware of their problem? How do you make their customers aware of the transformation that you can offer? And where do you make that available as well? What channels are you even using? Are you everywhere, or are you in strategic places because that's where your target audience is? What information are you sharing? Are you Coach Merifash today, and tomorrow you are Baker Merifash? Now we don't even know what you do, because on one day on Clubhouse you told us that you are a coach. The next day you are telling us that you are doing catering. Like, are you confusing people even with your messaging? Because it's possible that you are even confusing people. All of a sudden they are not sure. And when humans, when the brain computes inconsistency, it takes them away from trust. Everything you are doing is building a relationship. Every little information. There's a reason why someone will send me a message and I'll go, oh, thank you very much. Okay. Can you please provide me your email address and I'll send you the information? There's a reason why I would not send specific information on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a good channel depending on what you sell. And there's a reason why I won't send specific information on DMs, because I want you to see a professional email that has my signature. I want you to see that this is a professional business you are dealing with, so that fast forward, when we get to a point where we're even talking money, you already know that I am talking to a reputable business. All these triggers matter. But if you're not thinking about how the customer is looking at things, you will constantly do things that could actually be pulling the customer away from your brand, So you got to really think about it properly. But the key point, or the first step there, is awareness, okay? Think about what your customer is thinking. Think of where your customer is at that point. All your customers don't belong in the same bucket. There are some people that you are coaching, okay, that don't even know they need a coach. There are some people that you want to coach that know they need a coach, okay, but they don't know how to start. There are some people that they have been coached before and they've been scammed. How do you address them? And this is why it's so important to make sure that you are providing the right information to the right customer at the right time. It always has to be right, so that you can get them to a point where you have triggered their attention and they can get to a point where they are now considering, which is the next stage, consideration. Consideration, a lot of times, is about choices. They are not only thinking about you, but they could be thinking about many things. They could be thinking about their budget. They could be thinking about if it's worth it. They could be thinking about, and a lot of times, it's probably not even logic that is being applied here. It's even emotions. Because what tends to happen for a lot of customers is that, I mean, Mary, sorry, I have to use you as an example here, but the last exhibition we went for, Mary wanted to buy this bag. Oh my God. And the main reason was, I love it. And that happens to all of us. I have been into a place before where, oh my God, I saw this particular shoes and I'm like, I want to wear this. I want to get these black shoes. I know you're thinking is how you feel at that point. The first thing you think about there is not actually money, you know. The first thing I'm thinking about is, how do I feel? How does it make me feel, you know? And this is why you need to understand, how does customer think at that time. So the customer is thinking about choices, thinking about how they feel. Sometimes they are also evaluating other options as well, okay? And if you don't understand that the customer is in a consideration phase, okay, you could be telling them the wrong things, okay, or you might not be presenting them with the right information. So when they are considering, the point is, what can you present to them that can move them to a point of buying? Sometimes they need proof, okay? Show me results. You're a coach. Tell me how you've coached other people and tell me the sort of results and transformation that they've had, okay? Show me that you are credible. Mary posted something today, which is very solid. She posted how she has completed her John Maxwell course. And I can tell you for a fact that anyone who has been considering, can I trust her, can I not trust her? They just had an extra reason to trust what she does. Do you understand? But you have to be intentional about even where you even make that available, where you publish that. Reviews, testimonials, endorsements, awards. I'm not saying that if you don't have any of these things, it makes it difficult, but even if you've served the customer before, or maybe you even have links to articles you've shared and you've seen that people have commented, like, think about what you can do, what you can present to the customer that gets them to a point where, you know what, not only am I now considering you, I'm getting to a point where I can decide I want to buy from you. You are probably the right person I should consider. But also remember that this is also the part where they could be asking questions. Any customer that is asking, anyone who approaches you, any prospective customer that is asking you questions, they are interested. They've seen something. They're curious. So be ready to serve them with the information at the right time. I made a post the other day as to how you are not even prepared to respond to your customer. So your customer came with an inquiry, but because you don't even have a proper process in place, you responded 3 days later. And by that point, the customer has already moved on. Or the customer didn't even realize you were going to respond because there was no acknowledgement. But how can you position yourself to make sure that you are providing the right support to the customer to move them from considering using your services or taking on your services to the point where they buy? And that's the next point. Everybody likes this one. I like conversion. I like sales. We want the money. But even at this point, a lot of businesses lose customers. I finally decided that, you know what, I'll click on this button and join this business community. There was one business community I wanted to pay for to join. I'd been seeing pop-ups. And what actually got to me was that, oh my God, if these guys are actually providing so many free resources, because there's some really good resources in their link tree, I'm like, if I actually pick to join them, maybe I'll actually get more, see an opportunity to promote my services and more. And I click on the button and I was ready to pay. And I filled the form and I got to the payment form. And the bloody thing was not even working. Like, I was trying to click on the thing. It didn't even work. I'm not even joking. It wasn't even working. So, and I got there and eventually I just kind of left it. And and you know, sometimes after a few days, you actually ask yourself, did I actually really need it? You know, I've forgotten about it. Maybe I didn't. I just decided that I'm not going to go forward with it. 1 week later, they sent me an email saying, oh, hi, we saw that you tried paying for something. Would you like to pay for it again? And I told them I didn't need it. Look at what's happened there. An interested customer who has a desire, who has the buying ability, who has the funds to pay, has now hit a problem. And there was no way I could get help because I had sent them a message on Instagram because that's the only channel I saw to actually message them, but I couldn't. The point I'm trying to bring out is even at the point of sale, you can lose customers. So it's very, very important that you are very intentional about your process at that time. When we launched Michael, our first set of customers started coming from the UK, and we decided we're going to use Stripe for payments. We lost a few customers or we delayed a number of customers from different parts of Africa because our payment process, some of their banks could not pay they couldn't use their cards through Stripe. We had to eventually go on Paystack. If we didn't even test that and map out the process for even customers in that location, we would have missed the sale opportunities from that market. Okay, but again, be intentional. Have your process in place. Okay, understand what happens even in your sales process and make sure that it is seamless. Everything we've talked about is all about getting your customer from the point where they didn't even know anything about you to a point where they've heard about you, they start to think about you, okay? And bear in mind that this could actually take a longer journey because, I mean, some customers will come today and tell you, I'm ready to pay, and they'll buy. Some will come 6 months later, some might never come back. Everybody's on their journey. But the best you can do is to at least lead them through that journey. I have a specific customer, and this is why you should never judge customers. I have a specific customer who said, give me some time to think about it. 1 week, they never came back. We sent them a prompt, just checking on you. You said 1 week later, I should check on you. 1 month, they didn't see anything. 3 months later, I think it was close to maybe 3 or 4 months or so. They eventually came back, and guess what? They paid for a whole year. Most of our customers pay for a month. But can you see how they were on their own journey? If we had stopped them and tried and forced them, they would have either run away because we are trying to force them to make a purchase they are ready for, or they will make a purchase and not get the value and sign out and stop paying for the services. So can you see how recognizing that even each customer is on their own journey on that timeline? Okay. Retention and advocacy really is about making sure that you recognize that the customer that has bought from you, okay, can be a customer for life. If someone has bought from you once, they can come and buy from you again. You might think that your services, okay, they wouldn't need it twice. But if you continue to add value, they might just demand another service you just don't know. It might be an opportunity for you to create a new market. The customer that continues to get value from you starts to feel like they are getting more value than they paid for. They would appreciate you more, they'll think about you more, and they are the ones that become loyal customers. But retention is so important because you need to make sure that you are close to your customer. Never discard a customer after you have delivered the service. This is why a lot of successful businesses put a lot of attention on after sale. After sale is everything that have happened after the sale. Check on them. Is it working? How did it go? What would you like us to improve? By the way, we've got some complimentary they want to give you. Oh, by the way, we're having this event. Would you like to attend? Keep talking to your customers. It's all about building a relationship. That's what retention is about. And that can eventually lead your customer to a point of advocacy where you don't even realize, but they just go out there and they are raving about you, talking about you. Like, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure that we all get very excited when we actually hear our customers talk about us in very positive ways. Or even if a customer just shares your story or shares your post or invites you to speak at an event. They will only do that because they trust you. They will only do that because they are loyal to your brand. They will only do that because they are promoting what they have experienced. So hopefully the 5 stages that we've gone through has given you some insight as to, first of all, what the customer journey is, why it's important, and how you can turn a customer journey, okay, into a buying journey. Because at the end of the day, you have opportunities there that can progress your customers from a point where they knew nothing about you to a point where they can eventually buy from you and possibly become promoters of your brand. I've got a sample customer journey map here, which I'll send to Mary to kind of like share out. And it's something that you can try. Take one of your services or take one of your customer segments and you can start to think of the different touch points. So for example, awareness. Where will they find out about you? Social media, Facebook, internet, etc., blog, and write that there because that also helps you start to visualize things. And at that point, ask yourself that question: what is my customer's expectation? Do they need knowledge? Do they need answers? Are they looking to replace something? Because sometimes you are the answer. Because I mean, I think it was there was one lady that I spoke to one time, that sells hair care products, focused on people who have tried all sorts of products and they're not getting results. So she knows that she's not going after people that are going to try something for it. She's going after people that have tried things and it didn't work. So she understands that emotion of I am frustrated and I cannot even use another item. So she looks for how she can turn their experience into, I will give you that guarantee, this will work. So she understands that emotion and she's able to translate that into the customer's expectation. And the next thing which at the bottom is, what should I be doing right here? What should I be saying? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? So you're thinking about the customer first and you're thinking about what you should do. So think about it from an awareness point of view. Then think about it from a consideration point of view. Think about what happens during sale. Think about after sale as well, how you can continue to engage and communicate and keep them, and think about even at the point where they become promoters. There are a lot of businesses that reward their promoters. There are a lot of businesses that invite their promoters to VIP schemes. If you know someone is constantly bringing you customers, even a thank you message is something, but don't just go quiet on them, because because if you act like you don't care, they might just stop being a promoter. But when you do more, people like to reward, customers will reward good with good. If they know that you appreciate what they are doing, they'll continue to do it because they will even talk about it anyway. So hopefully you'll find this useful. Don't take this for gospel. You might have more steps along your own journey. Let it be customized to your own business so that it can become your customer journey and not just a customer journey. On that note, I'm done with my speech. Hopefully you've learned something today. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, any feedback, please let me know. Thank you.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Samni. That was impactful. Really, really good. Do we have any questions? Anybody in the house?
Any questions, any feedback?
Well, feedback from me has been, yeah, that's really good. And it's funny how you personally, you know, I've been through that once, but in a company, but a business that I started a little while ago. And then in the back of your mind, you think, yeah, I know that you're doing it. But actually to just redo it as an exercise again, consciously, instead of saying, yeah, I know where that goes in your head, and put it on paper, I think is really impactful. And that's my reminder to think again, actually, I could do this for a couple of the projects that I'm working with at the moment. Again, consciously, oh, well, I'm going to blah, 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 and we're going to get them in here and we're going to use this and all of it. But to map it out, I think is a really good way of really looking at it in a different way, more strategic way as well. And then you can actually have a look back and see what's actually working, what's not working, which bits you need to tweak a little bit more, where you need to go down a bit more detail, or maybe change the strategy a little bit. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Really impressed.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, one thing I also wanted to mention as well, I mean, it's just like building a relationship. I mean, if you meet someone for the first time, I mean, when I met my wife, I mean, I was already blown away. But if the first thing I said was marry me, she would have thought I was mad, But it needs to progress. And it's when you build a relationship, you get to a point where I could ask her, would you like to marry me, along that line. So it's pretty much just the same. And it's just a very visual example. And it's, I mean, as I said, when it comes to service-based businesses, a lot of times there's no iPhone, there's no object, there's no item. So you got to be very intentional as well as a coach to make sure that you are leading. And we coaches, we don't charge £1. Neither do we charge £10. A lot of times your services could be high ticket. So you cannot do it in a rush. You have to be intentional about how you do it. Not every customer will show up and eventually buy, but you can definitely boost your chances of selling by being very intentional of what you do and what you say to your customer at every stage that they are.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Really, really good. Really. I just want to say hello to JJ. Is it Joanne? Hiya, thanks for joining. I think she is. Hello.
She's still there.
Yeah, she's taking her mic off.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. Good evening.
Hi. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, it's JJ, and it was really interesting to watch this. And you're right. It's good to see it mapped out again, and you do it, and you do take it for granted, because it's one of the first things we kind of go through as coaches, and then once we've actually built out our practice, we don't really go back to it and
Yeah.
actually, you know, map it out, you know. So it's really good to see this again. So yeah, thank you. It's been really helpful.
Cool.
Thanks, JJ. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Should we
Mary,
hear from the Mary?
yeah,
Mary's
are you still there?
Mary Fashion Mary. Any questions? Anything?
Mary might be
I'll let
putting
Mary go. I'll let Mary Sasani go first.
Okay.
Mary, are you still there?
Just,
You-
it was very informative. Thank you so much.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like-
I don't have a question, but I just think like JJ said, it's some like a lot of us, once we've done something and that's it, like it's off the shelf, I can keep going. But like the same way you would keep reviewing like your business Canva, you need to keep reviewing because like somebody rightly said, people change, things and like for example now I'm moving out soon, so something in my life is changing, and that will actually affect certain things that I will want to buy. Like I'm not gonna buy anything at the moment because listen, right, this house stuff is taking wiping away my account, so I can't even think. I'm never gonna consider buying something right now. I'm never gonna look right. So if you keep trying to sell me something, I will just block you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm not, don't keep trying, don't keep pushing, right? So you have to understand, like what somebody said, that example you gave about at the exhibition we went to, this bag was very cute, small, but the main reason I wanted this particular one was because it has my brand color. I was like,
Right.
this is perfect. That's but then yes, my account said no. So I kept moving, right? I kept moving. So it's very key. Like your business is not for you, it's for your customer. If you are trying to make sales. So what is the business with that customer? There is no sale. Literally, you just have an expensive habit. I mean, no expensive hobby. That's what could be what I said.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's no point. Don't waste your money on marketing. Waste your money on everything you're trying to do if you're not putting your customer at the forefront of whatever you're doing. It's all that matters. It like literally, if business that has not actually done like a customer journey map, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
And I'm going to share another example. There's a company as well that I read about. So they're a software company, and they had a free trial button on their website. That one actually really cool, really got to me. And they just realized that people are not buying. Like people are not even checking out the trial. People are not downloading. People, like it just wasn't working. But let me tell you what they did, which I think is very important in understanding your customers. Like when we say think about your customers, it's not just enough to try and think, oh yes, this is what they're thinking. You got to ask them sometimes, like let them know, like so Mary Fash, when you decide, why did you start to use Michael? And because I would ask Mary that kind of questions, Coach Esther and a number of people, like, why did you do this? Why did you take this action? So you now understand, so that's how, because a lot of times you actually find out that what triggered your customer is not even what you thought would trigger them. Okay. So what they now did was that they asked their customers, and a lot of their customers were like, we don't want a trial, we would prefer a live demonstration. So you know what they did? They changed the button from free trial to book live demonstration, and their sales skyrocketed by I think 170% or something crazy like that. But the point is, look at how getting customer feedback and now adjusting their customer journey got them results. I mean, it's just like, think about it. You're driving from here to whatever. Once there is traffic or there's a roadblock on even one particular road, that whole journey is affected. Either you're not going to get to where you're going, or you're going to get there late, or you get there frustrated, you get there hungry, you get there tired, you have parking service. Like the whole journey is impacted. So it's very important that the whole journey, you understand what's actually going on. Now, one thing I was going to mention as well is the application of a customer journey. A customer journey is not just about, I have a business, this is where my customers go through. You can apply it in different ways. You can use it like that from a business point of view, where this is my service, I'm a coach, okay? What are my main touch points? How do I progress? You can do that. But you can also decide that you want to actually focus on a specific service, okay? Because the more you can niche how customer journey, you can't have just one customer journey representing your whole business. You have different customer segments. I might have different, I'm not saying you should have one for every, but use it as a strategic tool and not just necessarily one A4 that you've done for the whole business, even if you are designing a campaign. So for example, I know that Mary has done like
put you one thing above so we can see you.
Yeah, no problem. I know that Mary has like in the past, where Mary had the level up program that she did, there were emails that were sent even before. But the first email wasn't just, there's going to be level up, come and register, come and pay. No. She actually built up the story. Guys, I'm going to be launching something soon. Watch out for it. She started to capture interest. People started looking for it. Then at some point, she was now talking about the different problems. You're not in a position where you want to grow a business. Before she eventually, and it was that journey that helped her to get the turnout that she got. A lot of businesses, a lot of people just think, oh, let me just create a flyer and come and register. And all they're thinking is sale. And forgetting that even your existing customers, you still need to take them from a point of awareness for anything new that you are launching, whether it's a new campaign. So it's just to make us realize that even Christmas is coming, you have a new campaign, you have a new event. Always think about it from the point of awareness. There is no journey that starts in the middle. It doesn't happen. Nobody starts school in year 3. Everybody starts from the foundation. Nobody goes on a holiday without starting from the destination airport. You understand? Like, there is a journey through which you have to go through to get to a point where you actually take specific action as well. So I just wanted to kind of like explain that so that you understand how and when to use a customer journey map. Sometimes it has to be, it might look like complex documents where you are writing a lot of things, but sometimes you can, I always say, keep it simple first. Just take those 5 steps and think about what am I doing in this stage for to respond or to serve my customers' needs at this stage. And that in itself will get you thinking about the right things. And what you find is that it will also translate in your actions as well. Now, all of a sudden you are thinking, maybe I shouldn't say this in this email, or maybe we shouldn't say this in this post, or maybe we shouldn't see this in the in this place, or maybe we shouldn't share this information, or maybe we should be saying this right now, or maybe we should delay this information and share it later, you know. And the customer journey is even applicable in NGOs as well. I serve as the vice president of communications in my alumni, and we're about to roll out a campaign for pay your dues. Then pandemic hits. Nobody's thinking about paying their dues at that point. People are thinking of, I'm afraid. So we need to change our communication strategy, okay, and think about how's the customer thinking now. Then we eventually go to a point where things are better now, and we can start to. Then we even repurposed it and said, because we realized that we even made a mistake. We eventually said pay your dues, and people were not paying their dues. But we realized that there were people facing financial challenges, and we changed the campaign to let us raise funds, okay, to support people who were affected in the pandemic. People gave more than they would give when they are paying their dues. So we ended up even getting bigger results. But because we were able to put our heads into the customer's mind and even ask questions as well to confirm that that's how the customer is thinking at that point, and that helped us to get better results. So hopefully that has made us think about how intentional we can be in using the customer journey as a strategic tool in our business, and of course help us to become a more customer-centric business so that we can become businesses that attracts customers but keeps customers and turns our customers into promoters of our business. That would be all from me.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. That's been just really helpful, and it makes a lot of sense. And like JJ said and Mary both said, you know, we kind of know this stuff, we incorporate it, but I think sometimes when you shift and flex, I mean, like the customer journey, as you said, pre-pandemic would be quite different to it is post-pandemic. You know, the period that we're all in at this moment in time, being September, is different to how people were at the start of the summer holidays. So it is about just reframing that and thinking more about, where are my customers at today? Finding a way of even a snapshot and asking them, where are you at today? So I can adjust myself accordingly instead of making assumptions that I know where everyone's at, because everyone's having a different experience right now. So that's been really, really helpful for me on a couple of different levels. Yeah, definitely.
My pleasure, Shireen. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. We're not gonna keep you guys waiting for. I know it's late and you've got work. Some of you have tomorrow. So thank you, Samni, for coming. You guys Sammi's our partner. If you're coming with more later on, we'll share the next date for the next webinar to help your business. And it would be good to get a feedback as well. You can share with our group. If you don't want to say it in front of Sammi, you're shy, you don't want to know whether it was bad or good, feel free to send us a comment in our WhatsApp group that we've created. Give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Yes, that's it from us. Thank you so much. This is recorded. It's going to be shared, so you guys can have it and go over it over and over again. We'll get the PDF of the worksheet. We'll upload it on our website. You can download and work in your own time as well. So thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic evening and weekend ahead as well. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
for having me. Bye.
You're
Speak
more
later.
than welcome. Thank you. Thank you.